Why is India, the world's second largest consumer of gold, suddenly trying to slow down its own appetite for the precious metal? The Prime Minister Modi-led government in New Delhi has dramatically raised import tariffs on gold and silver from 6% to 15%. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has even urged Indians to avoid buying gold and importing gold for at least 1 year. But why would a country and a culture famous for its love for gold suddenly try to restrict it?
हम सोने के गहने नहीं खरीदेंगे.
The answer lies in a complex mixture of global geopolitical tensions, rising import bills, and pressure on India's currency, the rupee, and foreign exchange reserves. India consumes roughly 700 to 800 tons of gold every year, making it one of the world's largest gold markets. Yet the country itself produces only 1 to 2 tons gold domestically, meaning more than 90% of its gold supply must be imported. Every ounce of gold imported from overseas requires payment in US dollars, which directly affects India's foreign exchange reserves and the rupee. To tackle this issue, the government has imposed a 10% basic customs duty and a 5% agriculture, infrastructure and development cess, bringing the total import tax on gold and silver to 15%. According to officials, the move is designed to protect macroeconomic stability, conserve foreign exchange, and moderate non-essential imports during a time of global uncertainty. Prime Minister Modi's appeal also indicates that New Delhi believes the unrest in West Asia will continue, disrupting supply chains everywhere. That uncertainty has intensified due to tensions and conflict in West Asia, which have pushed the prices of oil, gas, and fertilizers up. For a country like India that imports nearly 85% of its crude oil, and rising energy prices can dramatically increase the national import bill. Now, gold is also a major part of this problem. In fact, gold accounts for 9% of India's total imports bill, second only to crude oil. So when both oil and gold imports surge simultaneously, the result can be widening current account deficit, which puts a pressure on the Indian rupee. So the government's strategy is simple: reduce non-essential imports like gold to protect the Indian economy. After all, there is enough gold in the country already. Indian housewives hold 11% of the world's total gold. There is more gold in Indian households than gold reserves of global superpowers like the United States, Germany, Italy, France, and Russia all combined. But now the government's measures have seen an immediate impact. Gold imports to India have fallen sharply in recent months. Imports dropped from around 100 tons in January 2026 to 65 to 66 tons in February, and then just 20 to 22 tons by March. By April, gold imports were estimated at just 15 tons, one of the lowest monthly levels in the last 30 years. Our news report on India-China tensions was ranking among the top 5 in Google News videos. I'm Shobhit Mittal. Subscribe to Inconnect News for the most informative news content. Now, part of this decline came after the government delayed certain customs approvals for gold imports. As a result, banks temporarily halted import orders, leaving tons of gold and silver stuck at customs. But there's a big question. Will higher taxes actually reduce India's love for gold? Now, gold demand in India has recently surged, particularly for investment purposes. Investors are increasingly turning to gold as a safe haven. According to World Gold Council, inflows into India's gold exchange traded funds surged by 186% year on year in the March quarter, reaching a record 20 metric tons. This surge in gold imports is exactly what the policymakers are now trying to control. Industry experts believe the higher import duty could reduce gold sales by at least 10 to 12%. Companies such as Senco Gold report that nearly 50% of their sales now come from old gold exchanges and recycled existing gold jewelry. Yet there needs to be certain caution. Certain reports warn that higher import duties could revive gold smuggling, which had declined after tariff cuts in 2024. Another crucial factor behind this decision is the Indian rupee, which has not been performing well against the dollar. Authorities have already taken multiple steps to reduce pressure on Indian currency, including urging refineries as well to limit spot dollar purchases. Cutting gold imports is another way to reduce the outflows of dollar and thus stabilize the rupee. But there is a deeper challenge. In Indian Hindu culture, gold is not just an investment. It is deeply tied to Hindu weddings and festivals, household savings, and wealth preservation. Demand usually surges during festive season and wedding season later in the year, making it difficult to curb the consumption entirely. That is why the appeal by Prime Minister Modi to pause gold purchases just for 1 year till the conflict in West Asia ends and crude oil supplies and global supply chains return to normal. So do you support the government's big move on gold? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.